We're back. We've got another episode. That's right. It is Cardboard Conversations. It's Saturday night. It's 7 p.m. It's Matt. It's Bob. It's Pat. It's going to be the trio tonight. Yeah,
it's a new year.
Yeah, a whole new year. We're starting off, on a pretty great foot. How you doing, Matt? Bob?
Yo.
Thank you for joining me, as always. It's great to chat with you fellas.
Good morning.
Yeah, right? And we got some early birds, not just you waking up, but we also got Time Capsule jumping in here mighty early.
Yo.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. And, we got some great channel members. We really appreciate getting to hang out with you in some of the multiplayer games that we do. And just in general, we really appreciate the support and the back and forth commenting we get to have, Love that.
It makes me show up here on Saturday nights.
Right? Yeah,
well, I don't want to say that. What a terrible way to put that. It doesn't make me show up.
I mean, it's hard to get you to claw yourself away from Path of Exile at this point. Like, for you to
I put a couple hours.
Yeah,
I put a couple hours in on it.
Hours.
I don't even know what it's. Yeah, I know Time Capsule. It makes me want to show up on Saturdays. How's that? That's a better way to put that. Yeah, I enjoy showing up because of it, because of the interaction, because of the community. I certainly don't want to show up here just to hear myself talk, and I wouldn't show up here just for a meager paycheck of 10 cents a
no,
night
we do
or
not
whatever
make money on these. No, we make like no pennies. Yeah.
So that's fine, Well, but you got to count the membership dollars, so it's whatever that is.
It could be dollars a month.
I might make a full $1.33 a month or something of that nature.
Yeah.
But regardless, I like showing up because I like talking with the folks. We have some Magic content we're going to talk about tonight. I literally took the picture behind my head, folks. If you're wondering what the hell is my picture, that's my back patio as of right now. That's about a 15-minute old picture. I think we have roughly about 14 inches of snow out there, and it just stopped snowing. We're expecting more.
That's a big thumbs down. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to start off the new year for sure.
We had a green Christmas though, so we had no snow on Christmas. We got this for random January 4th. So yay,
woo!
Not enjoying that. That's not one of the things. But I wonder if we're going to get any snowlands this year in any of the sets. What do you guys think?
Ooh,
maybe.
It's funny. I was just looking at top 20 commanders of 2024, and one of them was Landfall. And it made me think again, hey, what up, TCG dude? It made me think about the Snowlands and how it is something we haven't really gone back to in a while. Kaldheim was a very well-received set, and I think that, honestly, there's a lot of build areas still open for the snow stuff. So I would love to see that,
What was the last snow set? What was the last snow set before Kaldheim? It was an Ice Snap, was it?
Cold Snap?
Cold Snap?
As a resident Alaskan TCG dude approves of Snowlands. Hey,
was there? Are you sure? I don't know that there
ages. And I think that goes right to the point, though, Bob, is that it has been quite a while. I mean, realistically, we've gotten more slivers than we have Snowlands, and nobody wants to see more slivers except for Pat. He's a horrible person.
Oh, so I actually found out, we were talking last week, we were talking about the future upcoming sets. Edge of Eternities is the one with the Eldrazi's.
And that actually led to one of the main topics that we're going to talk about tonight. That's what got me thinking. But I'll let us ease into that, tease it out a little bit, wait for people to show up. We have decided we're going to kind of cut these short a little bit now that we're doing the members only at the end of the shows for an additional 30 minutes. That these are going to be hour-long shows, folks. So sorry if that disappoints. Let us know in the comments, thumbs up, thumbs down, if that's a good amount of time for you guys.
Well, there's a simple thing they can do, Bob. If they want more content from us, they just need to hit the subscribe button. That way they get notified every time we're putting out free content. And
they get an additional 2 hours at least every month.
I was going to say, if they're smart for that extra 99 cents a month, they get that extra 2 hours of us. And on top of that, we do also put out some members-only videos, plus members premiere stuff early. So, I mean, get that while it's good.
I'm aware that the MH1 had the Snowlands. Thanks for pointing it out, TCG dude. I was going to mention that, but outside of that, I'm pretty sure the last snow set was indeed Cold Snap. And I'm not even sure that the last one before that might have just been Ice Age. So I think we only have 3 total cold sets. I hope we don't have to wait 10 years between cold sets. I actually enjoy the snow mechanics. I like the additional. I think it works because it's just sort of ever present. It's like one of the worst mechanics, and it's been bothering me because it was relatively quickly right after, I started spinning my wheels back up again. I was kind of in during the Kaladesh block and then kind of vacated for a while and came back in really for Ikoria because I dug the Godzilla on the lands.
Best, right?
Love Ikoria. And I actually really liked Throne of Eldraine, too. I'm really upset that I never got that case from Rudy. But at any rate, the worst mechanic came out relatively quickly after that, and that was the party mechanic. I don't know if it's the worst, but it was terrible. It felt bad.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things is every set, it seems Wizards of the Coast puts out for Magic, they come out with a new mechanic. So it's quite easy with all the inundation of new mechanics coming in for some of them to be forgetful, but for some to stand out as almost a negative, as a sore point, like the party mechanic was. So many of them you can just pass over, but that's a thorn in the side.
Yeah, the party mechanic was just too slow to get going. They needed to make it either, like if it's present on the battlefield or in the graveyard kind of thing to make the party mechanics work better. But snow just tends to be ever present because people generally don't blow up lands. It's I don't want to say it's taboo, but it's not great.
Frowned upon. I mean, when they start making more cards like 3-Tree City, I think we'll be more amenable to you destroying each other's lands.
I think it's okay to target singular lands, but when you're talking about snow lands and you just put all snow lands in your deck rather than basics, and honestly, I think that they have space there to make really baller new lands without making them super powerful. If they just are the same basic lands that we see out there, like a Triome, but it's a snow Triome.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry about that.
Is that going to be a snow Triome? Is that going to be our new push?
Sure, or snow cycling or any of these other lands. Just to add the snow mechanic on them all could give them a new lease, but there's just not a lot of you don't see a lot of snow mechanics being played. So I think that that's a space that wouldn't offend a lot of people, and I would like to see it again, not in my backyard.
The good old Nimba. Well, let's just dive right in. We've
can I lean into that? Sorry.
Yeah.
If we're gonna dive into it, if we're gonna get into the main topic already. As Matt already alluded to, he checked into the Edge of Eternity's going to be the Eldrazi set, if you will, or the Return to Eldrazi set, and that got me thinking. Well, there's going to be some reprints coming, folks. So if you want, I'll just go ahead and start first. But that led me into we're gonna each pick 3 cards we believe are going to be hot for reprints tonight. So I'm actually going to cheat and give a 4th category rather than just my 3 cards because of what Matt said with the visiting the Eldrazi homeworld. I do think we are going to see some Eldrazi reprints in a meaningful way. I don't know which ones. There's too many to pick from at this point.
There's a lot of good
betrays, all these different things that are just fun cards from Ulamog. There's just a ton of them out there. I think Ulamog's been printed enough and in Secret Layers enough. But I think that we could see any of the Eldrazi's getting reprinted. So I'm just going to throw that out there as a category, not a specific card. But then leaning into that, I should probably share my screen. And I don't even have the right one up first, of course. So bear with me while I suck at doing the YouTube thing because I'm so good at this.
I pulled my 3 up.
I'm actually going to do it.
That's what I did this morning too. Wink, wink.
Well, I mean, I have it pulled up, but I don't have the Eldrazi. I don't want to spoil myself here. And I don't know how to make this.
Yeah.
Is that better? Okay.
It
so
looks
let me
good,
slide
but I'm
over.
not sure what content we're looking at.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and give my first card that I think is. Why is it not showing up here? It's showing the card in the graph, but not the picture of the card. Why is that? All right, let's try this again.
Hey, what up, Coach? As always, great to have you here.
Why is this?
We got to get together sometime. You know, you live not just far from me, which is surprising. I live in like the middle of nowhere, which means you do too. So we got to get you in the pod sometime. We've been getting back together. We've been turning cards again. That's right. I was able to get out in the last week or so and actually play Magic the Gathering. Believe it or not.
Why is this doing this? It's not showing the. Oh, there we go.
Or this Thursday, which sucked.
Oh, sorry, bud.
Oh, it's like nuking the picture when I go to this.
What it is it hates you, Bob. What's the card you're looking for?
Just go to Scryfall.
So I'm going to go this way because I kind of need to show it this way, and I know it's not very visible. It's just terrible on here because I want to show like where these were last printed. So Urborg Yawgmoth. I think it's hot for a reprint. I know that it was on the list, but besides the good God. Besides the list, the last reasonable printing, and meaning that there was meaningful numbers, was in Timespower Remastered. And if we think about it, folks, that's like 3 years ago. So I think that this one is definitely hot on the reprint target. And if you look, all the different versions, the very cheapest version is from Time Spiraled at $43. That's getting up there. If you remember, back during Time Spiral Remastered, this card dipped down. Let's see if they even have the price graph for that. Go back all. If you see, the base version went all the way down to like $14-15, and I remember that, right? And now it's all the way up over $40 again. And WotC does not like to see these cards get up around $50. Not a reprint target anyway, something that they can milk some more equity out of. So I think Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth is high on my list. I haven't heard anybody talking about it. Hot for a reprint this year. I don't know where it's going to fit in.
It's been climbing. I mean, that's a pretty steady upward trend. So yeah,
I could see it. I could see at a minimum it getting a reskin, a la like the Ikoria stuff. Or the special artist version. I think it did get one also in Lord of the Rings, was the last one, like a special version there. It was called something else as well. But I see this one getting another reprint, and I believe it needs to have a more meaningful reprint in order to pull those numbers down. I believe what you're seeing here with this little drop is a Lord of the Rings release. Right, where it was up
had that reskin
at like $40-ish, and then it got the reprint in Lord of the Rings. But then people found out it wasn't a super meaningful reprint, if that makes sense. It's a highly played card.
Now that you've talked about it, with the upcoming set, Edge of Eternities, and it being quite Eldrazi themed, I would love to see one of these for wastes. I don't think
wait for it for a minute though. I'm gonna get there. Addressing that Edge of Eternities, because that's really what kicked this thought off for me this week. So I started looking at, like the cards and when they were recently reprinted and, popular cards. Are they getting up there in value? And WotC seems to love that $50 threshold. So I think that Tomb of Yawgmoth is something that's right for picking, if you will. The next card I'm going to look at, and I'll save the candy for last, it's one that we all love, and I don't think it's had a meaningful reprint of any kind yet. And that's Urza's Saga.
Oh,
God, I didn't mean to click on it. It's an expensive card. It's over $40.
It was super hyped before it came out. Yeah, I mean, as you can see there, pre-release, it was very excited. People were quite looking forward to it.
So there are, like the game day promos, which is not a meaningful reprint. That's a $235 version of it. It was the Modern Horizons 2, the list, which I think we all realize is not meaningful for a reprint. And it's hovering again at that $40 range. So I think this is another one that's widely used in formats like Modern. So I don't know how widely used it is in Commander anymore. It's probably used here and there. But it's definitely a hot topic card that nobody talks about it being busted. It hasn't been printed in a few years now, if you really think about it. We already have Modern Horizons 3 in the rearview mirror a year ago. So I think this one's hot for a reprint at some point this year. I don't know what set this would be in either. My guess is we're either going to see Urza Saga or Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth, probably in the Final Fantasy set. I think that those are two top sets that have the room for them. But if you put it in the Final Fantasy set, it's probably going to need to have a different name, or you could even put it maybe in the Spider-Man set. I think they're going to try to push those sets this year, especially with the IP price tag on them. So expect to see some push cards in those sets, and these are two of them I think that are definitely in line with that. And the last one, speaking of Eldrazi, let's see if you guys can guess the theme of my reprints tonight. Eye of Ugin. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with this. This has not really had a meaningful reprint, I guess you could say, since Modern Masters, because Eye of Ugin has its original printing. The only meaningful reprint was in 2015, because we know how popular Modern Masters 2015 was. It was in Zendikar Expedition, so I know that was a set you cracked quite a bit, Pat. Did you pull any? Or is this the original? No, this is the original.
I think I did, honestly, because we went through like a case or two. If we had, it definitely went out the door. As you can see by the chart there, it's definitely stuck around at a pretty penny. It was never really a cheap card, and as you had mentioned, there being
this
so
is the original
printings of
Zendikar.
it. Yeah, which I think when I was looking over at stuff is the cheapest version of that card.
No. This is original Zendikar, not Zendikar Rising. So the cheapest version is around $80. It's a reprint target. It's an Eldrazi set that's coming up with the Edge of Eternities, and this reads: colorless Eldrazi spells cost 2 less to cast. And for 7, you can tap and search your library for a colorless creature card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So if there's an Eldrazi set coming up, I can't think of a better set to have a reprint in, and it would definitely push that set. So I kind of went with lands for reprints, and I have another surprise one that I thought of as we were behind the scenes starting the show, but it's not a land. So hang on for that one. I may save that for the members chat. We may get into that in the members chat. But those are my 3 top reprints. All 3 lands, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, Urza Saga, and Eye of Ugin.
Interesting. I think those are all very solid choices and quite thematic with what we're looking forward to for the rest of the year.
You want to go next, Pat, or you want me to go?
Sure. No, I got you. So, while we were thinking about this, one of the things I've thought about for quite a while is how there just is never enough Ristic Study. I mean, even now, the cheapest version, surprisingly, is actually from Prophecy, and it still comes in $30.
That's not real. If you click on it, it'll be closer to that 48 price.
Well, that's what I mean, is no matter how you look at it, even though it's come out over and over, and even into Secret Lairs, we just can't seem to get this card down below $30. And I'm not saying that that's where it should be. Just saying that this is a great card that so many people, because it was originally designed for a different format than it is now most played in. Pretty much every Commander game, someone's asking, you want to pay that 1? You want to pay that 2 for Smother and Tithe? So I think Ristic Study is a great reprint target, especially with how prevalent Commander is now. So many pretty versions as well. Along with that, as much as I hate to see it, nobody wants to play it against it. Sheoldred the Apocalypse. I think this card is just about too dang good at this point. And, I mean, cheapest version of it here is going to be well over $80 to get this one. Death Touch, whenever you draw a card, gain 2 life. When an opponent draws a card, they lose 2. I mean, come on. It's not a very nice card, but it is strong.
It's also very cheap for only 4 mana as well. It does a lot for what its mana cost is.
It's a 4/5 for 4 mana with lots of upside. I think the card's pretty busted.
And with Death Touch, I mean, at least they didn't put Ward on it.
I don't think it's super busted for like Commander. I think it's more busted for other formats.
Agreed. Certainly in Standard, it was overpowered.
Hey, what up, Kebby? I
Yeah, I'm
mean,
sure it's very
that's one of
strong
the
in
things,
Modern
you
as well.
know.
When you have less hit points to worry about, yeah, it just becomes a bit more of a problem. And plus, in Commander, there's 3 other players that can get rid of it. I don't know. In my experience, it's not that like it's a little annoying, but like
Kempster.
it's not that big of a deal.
It's easier to prep for, you know, as easy and annoying as Ristic Study is to see across the battlefield. It is quite easy to get rid of. Lots of people have enchantment, removal, but it's having it at the right time that matters. Shieldred, absolutely. When you see that as an enemy's commander, you do have a lot of time to prepare. When it comes onto the battlefield, a lot of people are going to want to try and kill it. It being a 4/5, though, she got a big old booty, so it's going to be difficult.
Well, I think one of the things you didn't really allude to here is that it's only had one printing, and in a set that doesn't have tremendous reception. So I don't know how widely open Dominaria United has been.
Not
But
very.
I don't
People
see
went
that
after the
getting
collectors.
cracked in
That
mass for
was
that,
good.
which is so odd. It's got some expensive cards in there, and it's got Lily in there as well. People forget that, and the prismatic strands, and it's got some good cards in it for value, and it's still poo-pooed on. I'm a little lost on that one. So, there's a big fall off after Shieldred for sure, but it's still got some good cards and doesn't deserve to be in the category of category. See what I'm saying? Like it's look at the draft booster box, $100. You can pull a Shieldred out of that box, man, and that's what $85 of that box price.
Yeah, it's nearly paid for it.
It's like, that's not the worst ever.
And speaking of cards that are not the worst ever, my third pick for something I think we're going to see as a reprint target this year, of course, it's Force of Will. Come on. You can't have some big flagship sets. You can't go a year without seeing Force of Will. And I think we're gonna. I honestly believe that with some of the Marvel sets we have coming out later on this year, and Secret Lairs are always a great place to put some of these higher priced cards. So I think, honestly, we could see Force of Will again. That's I say it's a good card. People like it. Who doesn't like doing stuff for pretty much free,
Yeah, people play it in
I mean,
Modern,
I think
people
you're
play it
right.
in CDH or even sometimes EDH. I don't
Yeah,
know. Is it played in Legacy?
And I could totally see that in the Spider-Man set almost thematically.
Exactly. I mean, there's unfortunately a lot of Madam Web stuff that would be really good to do crossovers with that would just lose a lot of audience. So
Yeah,
I wonder
Legacy
what colors
big one.
Spider-Man's going to be.
ooh, I mean, you got to have blue and red in there,
Red,
right?
blue?
I mean,
Could be red, white.
Spider-Man.
It
Would
could
he be?
red,
Is
white,
it?
and blue.
He could be
America.
Guess Guy. I mean, red, white, and blue. Come on.
But I mean, his outfit is literally red and blue. So I wonder if they're going to stick with that and make him red blue.
Kind of weird. He doesn't really fit the red and blue theme. He's not like a spell slinger, He's more of a.
He's got
he's more of
Spidey
a-
senses, and
He's more of a melee fighter.
which would be
I
red.
feel you. I get what you mean, though.
Yeah, he's red.
he
and
might be more
red-
green,
red and white
like-
for sure.
Like
Kind of weird though.
he's kind of green in nature.
Ooh,
Yeah, Anointed
Anointed
Procession
Procession.
was actually one of my cards that I was thinking about. Was that I changed it because I found 3 other cards that were in need of a reprint, anyways.
Yeah, you stole one of mine, Matt. That made
really?
me go all lands, but that's okay.
Well,
I
don't
didn't
keep
look
me
at
on the edge of my seat, Matt.
So we'll do the first one. We'll do this one. This one right here is the Great Henge. The Great Henge.
I thought
is,
about that one.
A very powerful card. Right now, it's sitting at around $57 for the lowest version. You'll get it right around $60. It's floated around the $56 mark since release. And it got a reprint, I think, in Lord of the Rings, and that didn't touch it. That didn't touch the value at all. It just stayed the same.
Yeah.
It's such a desirable card, a very powerful commander card. I don't know if it's used in other
It-
formats.
It was kind of like the same thing that happened to Urborg, which was also in Lord of the Rings. In those, I think that was like the artist, the special guest artwork that was like a box topper or some nonsense. So I don't think they got meaningful reprints, is what I'm saying.
Well, Mark Smith, I'm certainly not a beta male. Of course, I'm an alpha male. We're all alpha males.
I was about to say. I don't think you tuned into a beta show here.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, Great Henge, very powerful card. I think it needs a reprint. I would like to see it in the 30s. As long as they do, and when we talked about this in the past with reprints, as long as they are tastefully done and not done to the pound to the ground like they did with Urza, then that's a good thing. When we say we want reprints, we want the cards available for a reasonable price. $50 to $100 is, in my opinion, too much for cards. I'd like to see them under $50.
I disagree, but I get the sentiment, and that seems to be the value range, the financial value range that they are definitely at least appearing to target, is to keep things under that threshold.
The next one that I have is this one here. This is a Chrome Mox. This one's floating around almost up to $100. I actually don't even know when the last time this was reprinted.
I'd be honest, I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Like, what am I looking at here?
Well, this is the Double Masters. Yeah, the Double Masters borderless version. It's the one that I like the most.
What does the word Mox even mean? Like, I know I went to public school, but is that a thing I'm supposed to know? Like, I understand Chrome, but what does Mox mean?
A type of nuclear fuel designed for use in breeder reactors, consisting of a blend of uranium and plutonium oxides.
Well, it should be called Pox then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's a thing. That's a plague.
Sure.
I just mean plutonium oxide, like or Plox or something. Whatever. That's off subject.
The Pox
I think this is a great card. I love the imprint mechanic. Unfortunately, I usually see it on Chromatic Scepter, so I don't like seeing it, but I like the mechanic.
Oh, you mean Isochron Scepter?
Yeah.
Did I screw up?
Yeah, so it looks like the Double Masters, I think, is the last reprinting of it. There was one in Secret Lairs Countdown, 30th edition, if you count that one, but I don't necessarily count that as a reprint, although they're $100 to $150, which is pretty nice because I have two of them. They're probably Pringled at this point because I think I bought the ones in foil.
Dear sweet God. Yeah.
So, it is what it is.
What are you talking about?
The 30th anniversary countdown kits.
No, those are randomly foiled. There's like 3 or 4 random foils in there. So if you got a foiled one, then you got lucky. That was a hit. Mine was like Shark Typhoon and 2 other nonsense cards.
I think I remember I opened the one and then I didn't open the other one, something like that. I don't remember
3 more.
Foil or not. I feel like the Chromox was foil, but I hope it's not. Well, I kind of hope it is because it's $150. But anyways, and then the last one that I have is a very lovely, beloved card that I think that we all enjoy when it hits the battlefield. The One Ring. The One Ring is anywhere between $70 to $100. I think it recently went down in price because of the banning in Modern. I think this card should be banned. It's either going to get banned or reprinted. I think that they didn't ban it in Commander because they said they weren't going to ban cards. So that means that it's possible that it just never gets banned. I think it fits the ban criteria because one of the main criteria was that if it feels like a shoe-in every single deck that isn't, if it's not a Soul Ring, because Soul Ring apparently, Arcane Signet, those are all like above the rules. But if it's a shoe-in like every single deck you want to build, then that's like on the watch list of it. Should it be banned? And then not only that this is just stupid powerful, hard to get rid of, super good value. Rarely are the downsides any of consequence. It's very rare that I've ever played the One Ring and lost. It's just a very strong card.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're pairing this with like Aetherflux Reservoir, which I think is honestly one of the almost an auto include. It is definitely on my think about this card list for every deck I make. And when you pair that life gain with this life loss, you're pretty much just leagues ahead. So yeah, definitely the One Ring is I think it's a tricky reprint to get, but if they do, that'll definitely be a very good thing for Commander players.
Well, they already said that they can reprint it. They said there was an article that asked about Lord of the Rings IP if they have the ability to reprint them outside of Lord of the Rings sets, and they said, yeah, sure, they have no problem. They can just either rename it or they can just reprint it as the One Ring as like a special guest slot or whatever you want to call it. So it's definitely possible that this gets reprinted or banned. And one of the two. I think it needs a reprint. It's creeping up in price. The only reason it's even down in price, it was up to like 120 at one point. But with the banning in Modern, which it deserved, it's down into a more reasonable price, but it's still 70 plus 80.
Is it
not like a great price,
30
especially if you want to put in every single one of your decks.
Yeah, and I mean, it is, again, being an artifact, it being colorless, it has so many places it could go. And as you said, the power is easy to see. Realistically, even getting rid of the gain protection from everything until your next turn, I don't think I've ever seen that be as impactful as everything else on the card. And that's just kind of ridiculous.
Surprised how often I've casted, like, if I'm like a big bad threat and like people are like really gang up against me and I'll play that, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna chill back. You guys can do your own thing. Or somebody gets like super far ahead and I don't want to be the target of it. And even if I'm not the threat necessarily, and somebody's got like 30 power on the board, I'm like, no, you guys can, fight and do your own thing.
I want to point out a couple of mentions in our chat here. Some time ago, around 7:20, Kebby G pointed out Mox Opal, and that was on my original list. And that's what I thought Matt grabbed. And I think that this is really... I can share my screen, I guess, for that one. Let me see. Because I'm so good at this YouTube. Yeah, I agree. Mox Opal, I think that was a very intentional, hey, we need some more reprint equity. And they unbanned, a card that's been banned for years. It's a beautiful card. I don't know if I can. I don't like the fact that it doesn't.
The lowest available is in the 130s. 160s.
Yeah, use like MTG stocks or something.
Like the last time that this was printed, the reason I like this is because it shows all the printings.
Yeah,
when you
use
search
MTG
for it,
stocks.
and the last printing was actually in Double Masters. So that you're talking almost 4 years ago now. So. It's Scars of Mirrodin, Modern Masters 2015, Kaladesh Inventions, Judge promos, which don't really count.
It tells you all the printings.
What's that?
If you just scroll down, it shows all the printings of the actual get out of there, out of the search bar. Just scroll down.
Scroll down where?
I don't know. When I was on Echo MTG, if I scroll down, it says there's 9 variations.
It depends on whether you're in the Legacy view or the modern view. So at any rate, Mox Opal definitely, I think, is a highly anticipated reprint target this year. I think that's going to come out and push some set. Now, the question would be, which set do you see this fitting better in? Because I really think they're going to target, if it's something like this, some sort of flagship reprint. I think it's definitely either got to be in the Final Fantasy or the Marvel sets. What do you guys think? I think that's a bigger question. Yeah.
It could really be in the Aether Drift. That would make a decent amount of sense.
I don't think that would make sense at all.
Why not? It's an artifact.
Right.
It is an artifact. But they've got to push the IP leased sets over their homegrown IPs.
Which I think is going to be easy enough to do. I mean, in all honesty, 2 big things I'm expecting for the named sets, Final Fantasy and Spider-Man, things that are crossover IPs. I think with those universes beyond products, 2 big things. We're going to see a lot of people coming to those just for the IP, similar to what we saw with Lord of the Rings. I think that also with 40K, with all the Fallout stuff, a lot of the brand recognition drives a lot of the purchases. I think that that is definitely shown in the numbers. Along with that, I think doing some of the reprints of cards in their own name, like what they did with the Godzilla cards. Same thing with some of the Fortnite stuff. I think that they can easily put any card anywhere using that new mechanic, that naming schema.
Sure,
It takes
sure,
care of a lot
and
of
I
the
think
work.
and that's why I'm leaning more into not so much worrying about the theming of it, but more which sets are they going to try to put these in to try to push those sets. And I agree with Dual Brain. Dual Brain, I believe, brought up a little bit ago Anointed Procession, and that's one I've been looking at for some time. This has been creeping up. And if you look, it really doesn't have a super meaningful reprint other than the secret lair drops, and I don't didn't this one sell out? Wasn't this like a cats and dogs one or something? The secret lair.
Yeah, that did sell out pretty quickly.
Like this one sold out, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And so that's why it's probably still maintaining, a high price tag. Or was this in a deck? Was this in one of the pre-con decks? Either way, it was a secret lair drop and not, in my opinion, super meaningful. So it's still over that $50 threshold. It's crept up. We have now that to me, since it came out in, I want to say that wasn't Kaladesh. It was the, the Aether, or was it Kaladesh? It was one of those two. Anointed.
What's that? Anointed Procession?
Yeah,
Chrome
but
Mox
did it
was
come
not
out?
foil.
It was in
Amonkhet.
Amonkhet. Yeah.
Okay.
You should just
we
use
don't. Then that
MTG
doesn't match
stuff,
The
thematically.
money little guy.
But certainly it's high on
right.
the reprint targets. I don't know why I have Amonkhet, but I have it. And at
This
any
is
rate,
so bad.
I what's that?
Well, I'm trying to. How do I can remove myself?
It's a me. Hey, thanks again.
It was one of those invocation sets. You know what I mean?
Why can't I click myself to make myself bigger? What's happening?
I got you.
Can you spot the foils that I got from my secret lair?
Yeah, that was a terrible set. That was the countdown set, right?
Holy. Yeah, this is the countdown. The 30.
So it looks like your
35.
Mox isn't pringled at least.
No, my Chrome Mox is fine. So luckily that's not foil. It was my Ponder, which is fine. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Yikes.
It's like warped.
It got two types of curve.
It looks like those what are those the scoops, the chips that you could scoop and get some
A Frito
dip in on.
Got squeeze.
Tostito scoops.
Also,
That card
crazy.
squeed like a pig, huh?
Dahlia.
So that's something I haven't heard a lot of lately is the terrible pringling.
It's funny that it's one of those things we complain so
Shovel
loudly
my
about.
driveway with them.
And when it went away, like when we started getting reasonably good print quality, we just stopped realizing that there was a problem. So we didn't talk about it. It was not one of those things like, hey, it's like when you go to the bathroom, toilet paper just shouldn't hurt. And for a couple of sets, it felt like it did. And then you just went to the store and you're like, oh yeah, Charmin just works. Okay, cool. I kind of feel like that's where we're at for the most part.
Yeah, I definitely haven't heard as much complaining about card quality recently. It hasn't at least been, like a hot topic for content creators. But admittedly, I haven't opened a tremendous amount as of late. So I'd love to hear from you guys out there. How is the print quality for what you've been opening? Are you getting a lot of the, like stutter printing where you get double printed cards or, miscut? And miscuts really don't matter in the, in the not modern miscuts, in the what do they call that market?
Well, I've got Bloomborough. This is a whole
Misprint
stack
market.
of Bloomborough foils. They're very
Oh wow,
straight.
that looks pretty flat.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a little bit of a bend, but like I could easily just like do one of these things for a little bit, and I'm sure it'll pounce out. But yeah, these are the best that I've seen in a while. Because I mean, like this is modern Masters, I think, and this is still Pringled.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You mean Commander Masters?
I don't know. It's got. I don't remember what symbol this is.
I think that's Commander Masters.
Got the weird like.
Or MH3.
Well, look at the nomenclature in the bottom left, Matt.
Yeah, I think.
What are the 3 letters?
It doesn't have it.
What?
It's like the retro version. It doesn't have it. It just says 418. It doesn't have anything bottom left.
Yeah, that's MH3.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So Modern Horizons 3 has a really bad foil problem, but as far as Bloomburrow is concerned, there's nothing. I think I opened.
The set they care least about, they do better with.
The Phyrexian lands, they're a little Pringled. It's not too bad.
No, but Bob, I think the last time I opened up a pack of trading cards was with you.
Yeah, I don't remember us sitting there fussing about how Pringled things were when we opened those up.
No. I think that was all pretty solid. Yeah. A very good print quality, except there was I want to say a reprint set that we had opened, and I've remarked this before in the couple of times I've opened reprint cards, specifically PatThePauper Remastered, is they felt like a different card type. Yeah.
Almost like newspaper,
like gritty
feeling.
Yeah. Like scratch.
Like the feeling of newspaper. I mean, I'm saying it's thin, but that newspaper texture. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
2019 was terrible that way. Core 2019. If you ever touch those cards, they feel it's like, oh, would they print this on extra thick newspaper? Because it's just feels bad. You can hear them when you like rub the cards together. They make that sound. It's like, oh, that's
kind of like it.
Yeah, oh, geez, Louise.
I did.
Not
like
me.
You're talking about, like there's like a feel like a it's almost like a sand to it. I don't know. There was something about it.
Yeah, it's like 150 grit sandpaper.
Yeah, it's like sandpaper.
I kind of like that.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. I like the Japanese that feel extra thick and super slick and solid. They feel solid in your hand. Japanese have, I think, the best print quality.
They do a lot of
stuff
the
Japanese printer. Yeah. Then I would say second would probably be, the Cardamundi and was it Belgium that they print?
Yeah.
The OG. The ones that are printed in the United States, kind of a grab bag, but usually shit. They're usually not very good.
When does Innistrad Remastered comes out? That's like next week, isn't it?
January.
I was about to say, I think we're on the precipice of it. I think that's the next thing to come out, like in the middle of this month.
The spoilers start coming out in the next week or two. The official release is January 24th, so we got 3 weeks from now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's coming
That's
up.
surprising. Normally, it's like a month ahead of time. We know every single card that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, they've been doing like less and less of that.
Well, what's more surprising is you're seeing not a lot of hype content from content creators. There's a definite dearth of content creation around Innistrad Remastered.
Well, that's the thing. It's more or less another reprint set. It's how excited am I supposed to be, Bob? Like,
well, and reprints of Innistrad. Like, go look at Innistrad.
That's the thing is they had to throw Edgar Markov at it for it to be like, hey guys, check this shit out. Meat Hook Massacre, Emrakul. We got some cool stuff. Like, I don't know if I could care any less. Like, it's a good.
How many collector boxes are you guys buying?
Yeah,
none.
I feel like Charlie Bucket. Like,
who the hell is Charlie Bucket?
I'm with Pat. I'm not excited till June. I'm going to try to hang in there as a content creator, but as far as me being personally excited about Magic cards, unless there's a secret layer that surprises me, I'm waiting for Final Fantasy to get excited.
I mean, current pre-release market price is $35-ish for a single collector booster pack. You know how many expansions to Anno 1800 I can buy for $35?
You could easily buy pre-release, not pre-release, but early release for that price. One pack, early release PoE 2.
Exactly.
Hundreds of hours of enjoyment.
And again, I think this is one of those smart times
I don't know about enjoyment, but you know.
Yeah, no, I've had fun. I enjoyed PoE 2.
Yeah, I'm in a poo poo moment with it, and then in like a radio silence. Like, where the hell are they? They said that they were going to be after Christmas. They're like the new year. We're going to pounce back into it, and then like it's been radio silence. There's been
for
nothing.
$30, for $35. That's the price point for a lot of digital gaming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think again, mention Anno 1800, the game I've been cracking out way too much playing. I think I got for like $30 on some Steam sale. Great deals. And I mean, price for entertainment value. You know how many collector packs I've opened and been very unhappy that I spent the 3 minutes doing it?
How about all of them that were at the table that we drafted? I don't think there was one that any of us like, wow.
Well, I guess, to your point, remembering the last time I interacted with an Innistrad line of collector booster packs was a very poor experience. It was on that Amazon sale where it was like $100 for a collector box. It was like, well, I fucking got to. Thanks, Big Box Dave, for sending me the link. Love you, buddy. Went through the whole thing. It was like, wow, I just have more trash now. And
I love trash.
I mean, it's vampires, it's werewolves, and
it's
a bunch of reprint. Like,
not even opening Lorcana because you guys saw I went through my card collection with Pat. It's just too much. Like I don't have I have to be choosy now for what I buy just for space considerations alone. Like I think in order to buy more cards, I'm gonna have to start pushing other cards out the door. Literally just for storage space because I've got it in my basement, my living room, my dining room, my upstairs loft, my bedroom.
Yeah.
There's literally like magic cards, everywhere in my house.
Oh, that's something to think about doing. Turn them into like pieces of furniture.
I've thought about it actually. I was thinking about turning them over and just using the magic back for a tabletop design. And just epoxying them into a table. Mm-hmm.
But I think again, to your point, to both of you, I personally am going to be holding off on most of my Magic the Gathering purchases until really the later half of the year.
Rudy did a sale recently that I passed on. It was 2 nights ago. Actually, no, it was last night. I really contemplate on doing it because it's something that I don't have, but I keep like rubber banding it back and forth of like what
more
I plan
meta
to do
because you can't get enough.
No, it's Magic the Gathering.
Oh, okay.
It was a box of 2020 special draft throwback sale. So it was a box of Theros Beyond the Death.
Love that because are those lands still like 50 cents a piece? The Nyx lands, Theros Beyond Death. So I mean, you're talking 36 packs. That's at least close to $20 just in lands guaranteed.
Okay.
They might be getting up
Ikoria. Ikoria has the Triomes. And then the Core 2021.
And companions.
Oh, I love Core 2021. And what's the price on it?
Everybody's beloved companion.
Well, it's already too late. It was yesterday's sale, but it was $399 shipped.
Oh, hell no. Just
For
one box
boxes?
each?
Yeah, 1 box each.
Jesus. Oh, get out of here.
Well, on TCG Player, it's 120, 150, 170, or 125.
Yes, so he's not saving you anything.
You're saving $40. Why do you think that's a lot of money compared to what it's just free savings? Because it's $440 without paying tax or shipping on TCG. So you're really saving about $50-$60. It's a good savings, but I didn't want to buy it because I bought enough recently. I'm gonna wait until they're good because there's a bunch of new sales or a bunch of good sales coming up.
Yeah, Coach, I definitely feel you. And Time Capsule, I can't say why. I know that when Matt and I were sitting across the table from Mark Rosewater, I think I made him a little uncomfortable, kind of beating him over the head with card quality problems. And it was shortly after that he decided to excuse himself from the table. But he didn't really have an answer either.
Coaches, my problem that I have right now with my collection of sealed product is that I don't I don't necessarily want it, but I know that I quote unquote need it as far as like diversifying my investment portfolio. That's how I've chosen to do that. I've chosen to spend some of my investments in sealed product of Magic and MetaZoo and Flesh and Blood and whatnot. Not recently, but I have a bunch of Flesh and Blood sealed. So like I have all of this stuff, but like the problem is like Bob's talked about this in the past as well. The exit plan is difficult.
Fuzzy.
Yeah, like it's like you have like this plan of like there's a good chance you'll make money, but like when and how will you do it, and how much will you make, and how much and will it be worth it? Because like if right now if I could like just sell my entire collection for 80% of the market value, I would just do it immediately. I wouldn't even hesitate. Yeah, you can have it all. I don't care. Like I have no physical attachment to it. There'd be a bunch. I'd have to fill a bunch of empty shelf space behind me, but luckily this is just a picture. You can't even see. This could all be fucking gone, and you guys would have no idea. It's not, but you know, I've got my Lord of the Rings special edition for the $1,000-something, whatever it is fluctuated to nowadays. But yeah, I'm never gonna open that one because I've already opened one and that was a bad idea.
Let somebody else make that bad choice.
That was before they were 1,000 plus. They were only like 300 at the time. I don't know. Shit's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what I said. The surest way to lose money in Magic is open product.
Right.
It's just sad.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm going to,
all of it should be.
just lean into the stock market. I think there's, plenty of room to
Well,
grow
I mean,
there.
that's why I have that little side project still going. I have not put the money in this month. I need to do that. And it's made like I think a whopping $8 so far in total over 3 months. So, but at least
it's been a
that's
very
like
turbulent transition here.
Well, but what I'm saying is that's like the slow inexorable march where it's just going to go up.
Yeah.
Well, coaches, right? It depends on how long of a time frame you're looking at. If you're looking at just like over the years, like over like a year or two, sure. But if you're looking at like 6 to 10 years, we'll say 5 to 10 years, that becomes less and less of a thing, and they just typically go up. It's very rare that like a sealed product goes down, at least a new sealed product. For whatever reason, old sealed product goes down, but new stuff, it just seems to go up.
Yeah, it just takes a while. That's the.
It's just a long time, yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a very different.
The Lord of the Rings special edition is floated around the $1,400 one. Let's see if our Magic 30 $1,400, dude. Holy.
Yeah, it's holding.
Wow.
But it's not so much I'm doing it for that specifically. I could very well open every. I mean, it would be. I can't imagine a scenario where I would, but I could open every box that I have, every bit is sealed. But it's there for when I do want it, right? So that when Pat comes over, whenever, or Dual Brain comes out for BobCon, 2030, or Big Box Dave, or we just have a big old cardboard conversations con, and we just everybody drafts for free. No, you don't get to keep the cards, but you come out and you get to draft for free and play and have a good old time, maybe even have prizes. But that's something well off in the future. But that's something we have the stock to do, right? And I don't want to have to come up with it at the time, because one thing is for sure, even if box prices for things that we've purchased don't go up, the box prices for new product certainly does.
Yeah. It will be more expensive to partake in a draft going forward. So, yeah, I mean, if we look back at even tonight, Dominaria United for about $100 for a draft box, something that has got enough cards in it to actually fulfill that need, versus play boosters, like they're just ever whittling away what you're getting for what you're paying. You're getting
which is the one that has Legends, is it? Was it Dominaria Remastered United?
Dominaria United.
Well, I mean, they both have Legends in them, but
no. The old stuff that they found in the warehouse. That
the collector's
pass. Oh, that's the Dominaria United collector boosters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are like
Legends.
Those are like nothing. It's kind of crazy to me.
Well, that's because it was so ultra rare to hit, but people don't realize that that's sort of the same thing with like the different ultra rare versions of Mana Crypts and the different things, the speckled version of Rhystic Study, and
all the stuff.
It's the same thing
in that spot. Yeah.
They're in that same rarefied air that's not realistic that you're going to pull one, or the $1,000 card out of the Lord of the Rings special edition box. They're all in that same super rare to pull category.
Yeah, there's probably like Kaladesh inventions that are like $25 because they're shit cards nobody wants, but they just make those other cards in those slots that much more difficult to get, which I think was mirrored in the Dominaria United Collectors Legend spot.
I mean, I guess at some point, Coach, but I don't treat Magic as a pure investment. I'm sort of out of tax leveraged investments. It's a hobby, so it fits. It scratches multiple itches. I have it on my shelves. Don't really care if it goes to zero. If it doesn't go to zero and I really want to liquidate and just want to have, I want to buy a Porsche when I'm 80 years old, I just liquidate all my stuff and go buy a Porsche with it. It's not money I'm depending on. Like Matt said, it really is a diversification for me. I'd rather do that than just piss away money on gambling or a Harley or something that's a depreciating asset, or I don't want to ride a motorcycle. But most cars are going to be a depreciating asset.
Oh, come on, Bob! You with the big Harley, all the leather and shit.
No, that's not Bob. I might have the attitude, but I don't have the desire. That's not me. Now, guns, but guns tend to go up in value. There are still some guns I want to buy, but like this last year, I bought a Garand, which is the World War II serviceman's rifle.
I was very happy to find Cowboy Repeater. I started playing Red Dead 2 again, and between you and I, whenever I get on YouTube, there's a bunch of like gun videos. So,
are you talking about like are you talking about the rifle, the Henry Repeater? Yeah, I wouldn't mind having one of those, but
they're not even like terribly expensive. A couple $100, $1,000, and you can get like an all brass version that looks unbelievable.
I'm just saying that that kind of thing, and I have a gun collection, so I'm sort of set as far as that goes. And honestly, gold and silver is just not all that exciting to diversify into, and it's another somewhat difficult to get out of it market. And every time, like if you ever watched, I always want to tell you that, oh, look at the deal that I have, but then you watch the videos where people are actually liquidating and the prices that they get offered is like 20% less than like spot, which is like melt value of the coins. It's like, wait a minute, I have to buy it at 20% over, and the only place I can liquidate it at a coin shop is 20% below. That's like a 40% loss. I'm not digging that at all. So you got to hope that essentially what would be like equity in it
so ridiculous
goes up, and it's like, nah, it's not a great thing. That's one of those, oh shit, society came off its hinges and you need something to barter for a loaf of bread kind of things. It's not. I don't see that as a great
and even
financial investment.
Having a Spanish doubloon, like, okay, cool, I got a gold coin. I'm not giving you my rifle ammo. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do with a gold coin? They're zombies. Like, I don't understand that side of like Resident Evil. Yeah, whatever.
Again, though, Coach, the hard thing is just like with sealed Magic product. It's very hard unless you're just like selling it in a McDonald's parking lot with the taxes you're gonna have to pay on buying it, the shipping, the taxes again, and shipping when you sell it. Right. We did the calculation. I think we do it on a show. Like, I don't know if they can rewind. Well, we're coming up on
like 20 to 30% you're going to pay.
So it in essence, you don't even want to consider selling it until it gets like double what you paid for it.
Right.
Yeah, if you're not able to double your money, it becomes, not.
And you're not going to double because you end up with like 30% gain if the product doubled.
And at that point, if you're breaking even after years of investment, it's just been dead money for that long then.
Which is the whole concept of the stock market investment with the 100 and what do we say? It's 125 a month average investment. See how that compares to like how somebody would have done buying each month.
Very smart, Coach. I too have been getting into more liquid investing. So far, I've got 12 gallons of milk, and I think that it's really going to hold value. I'm just kind of trying to time the market.
No, I think he means mobile assets.
Oh,
like
no,
crypto. Yeah. But yeah, like collectibles
water.
are certainly what they call it.
Liquid investment.
Tangible things are generally illiquid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
chicken
tough to
eggs.
get rid of.
I'm gonna start diversifying into chicken eggs, because if we go through
And honestly, what people would make
a
a lot more money on, and this is going to be a hot topic and not very well liked, if you want to make a lot more money than even people worry about, percentage gains, 10% in the stock market and 40% on a product, spend 10% less.
Well, right.
Don't buy some bullshit you didn't need. Don't eat out.
Yeah.
Don't get your Starbucks. Don't get your Chipotle.
Right. Stop going to the goddamn
Don't get your
drive-thru.
DoorDash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Don't get
like
delivery. you want to make money. It's sort of like a penny saved is a penny earned. The ideology. And talking to this audience, and I know it's going to put me on the other side of the fence because this is an audience that wants to crack packs and gamble. If you want to save 10%, buy one box less a year.
Don't try to tell me how to spend my money.
I'm not telling you how to spend it. I'm telling you how not to spend it.
Well, I will tell people how to spend their money. What they should do is spend 99 cents a month so they can join us over on our members stream.
Amen.
So make sure to hit the links below. And if
before we end, we need to we need to silver ourselves. If you haven't done so already and you've enjoyed this past hour, please make sure that you hit that subscribe and like button and maybe even the bell icon. Share it with your friends. Let them know we're here. And if you're on the vertical, don't swipe left or right. Just stay right there. You don't have to do anything at all. Just watch us. Check in next week at 7 p.m. Pat, have you got the links for everybody? There we go.
I'm working on it. It's.
I know that the links are problematic in the vertical. I think you might have to hit the 3 dots or something. I don't remember.
The biggest issue was on our side, specifically because we're not subscribed to ourselves. So, I don't see it as an upcoming thing. So I have to go in and get the shareable link. Boom, there it is. So
with the D&D opening, it even broke pause. I don't understand the reference, Coach. You'll have to explain next week because we have some members we need to get to here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you very much for spending your Saturday evening with us. We'll be here next Saturday at 7 p.m.
He means the D&D set.
Oh, my God. Over on DJ's, that AFR box opening, that hurts so bad. I'm going to sad day.